Now, I wanted to make this video because I think it's very, very critical, very important for me to detail what I mean by culture in as precise a way as I possibly can within a 5-minute span. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about culture, I'm talking about something very different from what you're accustomed to hearing. Culture has three components for me: it's the way you think, it's the actions you take, and it's your attitude for life. Those are the three things that I say is a culture. So when I talk about culture, I'm not talking about art. I'm not talking about music. Those things come out of a culture for me. That comes out of a culture. That's a product of a culture. It isn't the culture itself. The culture is your thinking, your actions, and your attitude. Now, thinking is very important. People just look at this and say, well, it's the big deal. No, it's a very big deal. The way you think is so important that if you think improperly, you will have an improper life. If you think properly, you will. Thinking takes work. It is very hard to think critically. It is very hard to think properly. In fact, we go to school for 15, 20 years of our lives in order to think properly. We have to wire our brain in such a way where we can absorb information and look at it intelligently so then we can navigate the world and best figure out a way to make the world conducive for our living, conducive for who we are as people, conducive for having a good life. And that's what thinking does. Thinking gives us the tools to do that. And so it's very important to train your brain on how to think. You see, actions come out of thinking or not thinking at all. You see, if you don't think at all, then your actions are going to be very random. One day you'll do something that's pretty remarkable. The next day you don't, because there's no thought behind it. There's no deliberate thought behind it. It's just doing, random. But if there's thought behind it and you think about it and your actions go along with that thought, then you're in control of what you do. And if you do it enough times, it becomes a habitual habit. It becomes a part of your character. And when it becomes a part of your character, it becomes who you are as a person. Thinking and actions make up your character. But I think the most important thing of all this is your attitude for life. You see, if you have a very negative attitude for life, you're going to have a very negative life because your thinking and your actions will mirror your attitude. Your thinking will be negative and your actions will be negative. If your negative attitude is, I don't like people, then you are going to think of ways of how to hurt people, and your actions will mirror what you think because your attitude is poor. But if your attitude is very positive, then you will have positive thoughts, positive actions that will lead to a positive result. You see, when you do this in the composite and you have it amongst people who share a collective consciousness, and that's what a culture is. It's a collective consciousness that we all share, we all can identify with, then your thinking, your attitude, your actions will be in tandem with the culture. And so if the culture is very negative, you will be very negative. If the culture produces good, positive thoughts, you will also do the same. And that's why it's critical for us to understand what a culture is so we can produce a good culture that can produce good results for people and make our world a better place. And that's why we have to get this down. What is a culture? And a culture is your thinking, your actions, and your attitude. And when you do it over and over and over again, it becomes a part of your character, and your character becomes a part of who you are. And that's how you succeed or don't succeed. I hope that was helpful.